Hello and welcome back to the HWN Nerds
Nerds,
podcast.
nerds.
So, as promised a few weeks ago, now that it has concluded, we will be wrapping up season 1 of the Disney era of Doctor Who.
Started by Ethan, your rendition of the theme.
Absolutely not. If
I-
it was on and I was listening to it, could definitely do it in the beat. But if I tried to do it right now, it'd probably end up turning into Ghostbusters or Stargate for some reason.
You want to say hi to your friend you met?
Yeah, you will get an anecdote from a fan of the show that I met when we went to a premiere at the cinema for the final 2 episodes. Shout out to Emily Woods. But yeah, so let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start, according to the song in The Sound of Music. Space Babies.
I was thinking goblins.
Well, we kind of covered that.
Oh yeah,
at
we
the
did.
Christmas
Space.
special.
It was weird. Space Babies was weird.
Space Babies was weird. I wouldn't have particularly done that as the start off for the season.
I liked the villain. That was cool.
I liked the fact that there wasn't really a villain.
Yeah, it was just Snot, who was being raised basically the same way. And it was all one big story. I like the idea of it. Could I tell the fact it was obviously CGI mouth moving? Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because I don't want to be the only one. Did it creep you out?
A little bit. But yeah, they could have slicked that CGI up a bit to make it less obvious.
Especially with the Disney budget.
Don't get me wrong. Yes, obviously we all know it was going to be CGI mouth moving, but they could have slicked it up to make it look less like it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quite obviously not them talking.
Exactly, and like, I think the storyline was really good, and I think Shooty's performance, like wanting to save the snot monster because it was the only thing of its kind, was good. I'm gonna take a page out of Who Culture's book on YouTube. I think the ups of the episode are Millie and Shooty's performance.
Yes.
But the downs, like we said, is the CGI.
Yeah.
Definitely. The weird fact that they moved a space station that wasn't supposed to be able to move by basically causing it to fart.
I found that funny.
I did, but at the same time, it felt very Minions.
Yeah. I can't believe the lady from that, the caretaker from that, is the lady who plays the Queen in Bridgerton.
Yeah. And,
The power of makeup.
yep. And then what do you call it? I think the other down is it wasn't a very good series opener, in my opinion.
It wasn't the best series. I enjoyed it.
No, I think the way that it connected directly to her jumping straight into the TARDIS at the end of Church on Ruby Road was good. I liked the fact that the show started with her actually getting in the TARDIS and from a different perspective as well.
I also like the fact they made a reference to standing on a butterfly and changing things and making her alien for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then when she gets back in and the doctor's fixed it, he literally goes, I forgot to put the paradox filter on.
Yeah.
And flicks the switch.
Yeah.
So it explains why they've never caused any paradoxes since Rosa's episode. The Doctor installed a paradox filter.
But out of 10 TARDISes, how many do you give Space Baby?
I'm going to say, as a series opener, I'm going to say it's probably 4.
As a series opener, yeah, 4. As an episode, I'd go 6.
As an episode, yeah, but
Series opener, it was a bit blue.
it's a filler episode that they decided to use as an opener, and I think that hits it, like, a lot, in my opinion. So we're on to
The cord.
the Devil's Cord. Right.
Firstly, before we say anything,
Yep.
firstly, they made a big deal about the Beatles being in this episode. And then they're barely in the episode.
Yeah, I know.
That annoyed me.
So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the episode. Obviously, unlike Space Babies, this one kind of has more of a plot that goes with the rest of the series.
Well done, Jinx.
Yeah.
I'd only ever seen her. I'll admit, I've watched RuPaul Drag Race.
So have I.
It is really fun to watch.
Yes, it is.
I've never seen her act.
No.
Jinx did a fabulous job.
Yeah, they did.
Sorry if I used the wrong pronouns for them. But they were bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very good. I think this was one of the stronger episodes this season.
Oh, yes.
The scene when they're in the cafe and they're trying to convince the Beatles to sing better songs than what they were singing.
Yeah.
And she just shows up in the spoon.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
any reflective surface, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they were cool.
This is creepy. I like this. And while, again, I think the CGI was a bit funky with the notes.
Yeah, it was.
I kind of liked it better than in Space Babies because with the
It worked better.
In Devil's Cord, it felt like Doctor Who was trying to mimic what it would have, the CGI it would have had on the BBC budget rather than the Disney budget. Whereas with Space Babies, it just looked whack.
Yeah, it was weird.
But
I
know this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit to the season finale.
Yeah.
Who's the he that Jinx is on about when she says, why was he there? Because she's not talking about the one who waits, because she mentions that, they mention that one straight away after. They're talking about someone else because she calls them the oldest one.
Yeah.
She says, why was he there? He shouldn't be there. That's impossible. Why is the oldest one there? And then she talks about the one who waits. So they're clearly two separate individuals.
Yeah.
And who the heck is he?
Yeah. Maybe Ruby's dad?
Maybe. It is Sutek he and not the one who waits?
Could whoever Anita Dobson playing be the one who waits? Mrs. Flood?
Just because things didn't really add up with what we've been told about the one who waits, in my opinion. But I'll get to that when we get to that episode.
Okay, so out of 10 artists?
For this one, I'm giving it a 7.
Episode-wise, I'll give it an 8. I loved it.
I'm giving it a 7 due to the fact that the marketing was around the Beatles. And they weren't in it, really.
They did save the day, though.
They did. Kind of a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
But it was a Deus Ex Machina that was sort of set out, so more of a Chekhov's gun, I suppose.
So number 3, Boom.
Boom. We have difference of opinion on this, I believe, from when we were talking before. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah, and I thought this was the one we had a difference of opinion on.
I like the this is my dyslexia coming out. Simplicity. That is the word of it. He's there. He's stuck.
See, I get that was the intention behind the episode, but I think there are when I've been talking to other people, mainly my cousin and yourself, I think the thing is there are certain doctors that work in certain ways. And Shooty gives me the feel of Matt Smith, where I think restraining them is a detriment to the episodes.
I agree with that to a point, yes. But I think it worked for him. I didn't think it would before the episode, but it worked for him in my eyes.
I think his acting was phenomenal. I think he did really well.
Millie did great.
And seeing as though we're talking about it, I'm sorry. Please don't give me a death fake out in episode 3. I know for a fact I'm not going to die.
No. It was nice for them to slip in the next companion.
Yeah.
Even though part of me doesn't think she was companion at this point.
No, I think they liked her acting in this
Yeah.
episode.
And
was
when
like,
when they knew Millie wasn't going to be back next season,
they were like, we want you.
Come back.
I
don't know if she's going to be the same person.
hope not.
Part of me won't mind for like a distant relative.
I want I think it's referred to as a genetic strand cast. For those of you that have been watching Doctor Who since before the Disney era, you'll remember that I think it's Parting of the Ways, or no, sorry, it's Donna's last episode, so it would be Journey's End.
You're talking about the girl from Torchwood, aren't you?
Yeah, when they're sat and they're talking, and Gwen Cooper comes on the screen, David looks at Rose and he goes,
You look familiar.
"Hey, look, don't she look familiar?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, genetic strand cast. Are you in from an old Cardiff fan?" And then explains how she looks exactly like
that character.
But then Martha has also been in it twice.
So has Amy Pond.
Yeah. I mean, they don't address it with Karen Gillan, but they do with Martha, by Martha casually dropping that she had a cousin at the Torchwood headquarters.
To be fair though, with Karen Gillan, unless you really know it's her.
I mean, now that I've seen Karen Gillan all the time in like Marvel and Doctor Who, every time I watch Fires of Pompeii, I'm like, yeah, that's Karen Gillan. But
at the time
when she was cast as Amy Pond, did I remember her from that one episode? No.
I remember a redhead on that episode, but that's about it.
So, but yeah, I think there is definitely a way to make her a relative. I think it might. I hope it's either a relative, or they're playing an earlier version of Monday, or they're playing a version of her that's already raised the kid. Because that's why I don't want it to be Monday, because
I'd love the part of me likes the idea of Monday, just because thingy will be Sunday.
Yeah.
And the joke of her being Monday, it's just, I love it.
I like it, but with the story ending with her taking responsibility for raising the kid, for her to just run off feels a bit out of it.
It could be her great granddaughter named after her. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her. I hope it's not over for Ruby, because I liked Millie.
I believe she's in the Christmas special.
No, she's in the one afterwards. She's in at least 2 or 3 of these series. Christmas special is a girl from Bridgerton. She's been one of the leads in the recent series of Bridgerton.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Nicola Cullen.
Let's have a look.
First lady.
Nicola Cullen. Yeah, I'd say Cullen.
Yeah, she's, for what I've seen of her in Bridgerton, she's fabulous.
At the end, but back to Boom itself. If I'm gonna go give Boom a couple of ups, Susan Twist's character of the ambulance. Yeah. That was good. The dad, before he died, like that, I thought that was good. And the whole Monday and the church, and the like subtle dig at the fact that the church have always had an army and Ruby lives in a blip where they don't was awesome. Well, it wasn't so subtle, but I'm a religious person, but even I was like, damn, that's a good shot at the church. Yeah. Whereas Big Down, the kid, in my opinion, she really did my head in. She was told like 4 times by 4 different characters that her dad was dead.
Okay.
And she kept asking where her dad was.
Okay.
She started to get on my nerves by the end of it.
Yeah, but that's what some people do when somebody's dead. And you don't want to believe they're dead.
She just got on my nerves by the end of the episode.
I know, but you wanted a kid not to act like a kid.
I can't help it.
I'm surprised she didn't ask more.
The thing is, I don't really think her character was necessary either.
Yeah, true.
It was necessary to a point because it makes it a bit sad that he died when it's a character we've just
as soon as I saw the fact he had a daughter, I knew he wasn't gonna.
That's what I mean. So she's she's there for a reason, but she didn't have to be in the crater with the Doctor and Ruby.
True.
And I think if it was just that Monday knew about her and when she found out her dad was dead, her visible reaction was bad. I think the audience would have got that. There was no need for her to be in the centre of the action. I think it just...
But as we've said, we both have different opinions on this episode.
Yeah, so how many TARDISes would you give this?
I'd go for a solid 7.
See, I'm going to go with my tried and true 4.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was a bad episode. I just don't think it was the best Moffat has ever given us.
No, I'll admit, I'll agree with that one. It's not the best Moffat. Then again, we've got a Moffat at Christmas. That's a Moffat written.
So
I like this. Like we've said, I've liked the series this far on. This series, has it been the best Russell TD series? No. But it's not as bad as people have said.
So then we get to...
The next two are Doctor-less-ish episodes because he was filming sex education at the time.
Yeah. So we get to 73 yards.
I have a love-hate relationship with this episode.
See, again, this is where we differ on this one. I really like this episode.
Don't get me wrong, Millie did fabulous.
I think the makeup that they gave her to show she aged could have been better.
Better? It was shit.
I mean,
in the football stadium, she's supposed to be 30 odd. I'm sorry, but Millie looked still 17, 18.
I've seen the what do they call it? The thing that they do afterwards. Is it Unclassified or?
Yeah, Unleashed.
I've seen that, and I know the work the makeup artists put into making her look like she was aging, and I don't want to diminish their work, but at the same time,
I feel bad diminishing their work because I know how hard it gets.
But
it was.
At the same time, if she'd still get ID'd in most nightclubs, but she's supposed to look like she's nearly 50.
Yeah, they need to do better.
It's not. They did. I know it's probably a different team, but when they did it to David Tennant or Karen Gillan or, stuff like that, and made them look older, or even Matt Smith, when they made him look old, they were done fantastic. So if we'd have got the same level,
yeah,
I would have bought it more.
It's about the episode. I don't get why people screamed and ran off.
No, there's still no explanation on that, and that really bugs me. Unless they pointed out Sutek, which...
As much as I love seeing Kate Stewart, don't get the point why she's in the episode.
It's like a weird cameo, only for her to turn around and go, "Goodbye, bitch." And it's like, what?
It wasn't needed. If you're going to put Kate in that, actually make her do something before she runs off screaming.
Yeah, not just have a sit and have a coffee.
Yeah.
It was a bit unnecessary. I think it would have been better if they'd have stayed in Wales and had it all set in that little area with the pub.
The only one I really get running away was her mother. And
that was sad.
It was sad, but that's the point of that one. And I get that one. I don't get why she ran away from the lady, but...
I haven't got a clue what she said, but whatever was said, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Because she just drove away, and the look on her face as Ruby caught up to
her.
And
then she changed the locks.
She changed the lock. It was horrible. And the thing is, we never find out what was said, and I think, and Russell, I believe, has come out and said we'll never find out what was said.
Yeah, which is annoying.
And I'm like, but
the episode in all, I like because Millie did fabulous.
Millie did a fantastic job.
But I don't get the runaway. I don't get
the fairy shit.
yeah.
Like I don't get standing on.
That's kind of like a witch thing.
I get it. I get what they were going for because this is supposed to be the more supernatural series. I'm just saying that, like, all in all, I don't understand how.
It wasn't really stepping on it. It was her reading stuff.
And where'd the doctor go?
True.
And even if Shooty buggered off, where was 14?
True. But yeah, for me, it's definitely more of a 4 TARDIS.
I'd give it a little bit higher, just because I really appreciated what Millie did.
I know. I feel bad for giving it a 4.
I would go straight in the middle and give it a 5 out of 10.
The 4 is mainly for Millie. The next one is.
I also didn't. Before we move on, I don't understand why we veered into politics out of nowhere.
True.
That's why I can't give it any higher than 5, because I was like, it was a really cool mystery about what the hell is this woman saying to people, and then it veered into Millie taking down a horrible politician, which is later revealed, spoiler alert, that the Doctor ends up doing that anyway. Yeah. So, and it's not the first time he's took down a Prime Minister.
True.
Harry
We're looking
Jones.
tired. I know. So next one is Dot on Bubble.
I'm sorry, do you realise what you just did?
What?
I went Harriet Jones and you went, I know. That's literally the joke of Harriet Jones.
I know. I don't think I did it. Dot and Bubble.
Dot and Bubble. I have never hated a character so much in my life as Lindy Pepperbean.
Same, but you're supposed to. And why did it take me so long to notice the racism stuff?
So you were on the same train as me. You hated her before you even...
Yeah, I hated her. It wasn't until the end when he has to go at her. I'm like, shit, she's racist. They don't like the fact he's black. Because at the start, when she just knobs him off, I was like, well, that's because he's a stranger.
But I think it's done that way on purpose. Like, it gives you reasonable reasons why she would act this way.
I didn't really take too much into the fact she quite happily, well, not happily Dr. Millie, but Dr. Millie.
Like, yeah, they give you plausible reasons as to why it would go the way it went. For example, when the Doctor comes on, it says unsolicited request.
Which I didn't notice.
And she declines it and blocks him. When Millie comes on, Millie outright says, I work for Fine Time.
Yeah.
So even the Doctor didn't con on to the racism straight away. And he thought it was because it just showed up on a For You page.
And then at the end it was like, no, I can't come with you.
Talking to you online's fine, but...
Oh, shit.
The scream from Shooty and then the laughing. And to put it into perspective, I don't know. I think this is widely known now, but there might be people that don't know this. That was Shooty's first scene filmed as the Doctor.
Yeah. Purposely.
Russell even thought about scrapping it because he thought it was a bit too heavy for a first shoot.
Shooty said no.
Yeah, he outright said no. He said, we're doing this scene. And my God, did Shooty deliver in that.
Oh, God, yeah. He's an amazing actor.
Justice for Ricky.
Talking about, I hate the song. But, poor Ricky.
Eeny weeny, yellow polka dot bikini. But the fact that he just posts videos of him dancing to the same song and logs off, and he's the only person that just posts the same video every day and logs off.
Yeah, and then just does what he wants in his own room. It's like, okay.
I like this dude. I'm like...
Fair play. You're cool.
And And the fact that he finds out everyone on their home planet is dead, and
He finds a random bird trying to get through an alleyway of basically slugs, and then helps her out to be stabbed in the back. Like, great, thank you for that.
I liked Ricky. I never liked you from the beginning.
You're just a fucking bitch.
Like, I'm sorry, but one of the main things is when she turned the thing off and she couldn't walk. I'm like, I get that it tells you what direction to go, but even if I turned the sat nav off, I'd still know how to walk.
Yeah, but you got to remember they've lived in that system, and they've always had that. I think is the idea.
I get it. I'm just.
Well, Ricky's had time to learn it in his own bedroom.
It just seems weird that like they can't bloody walk.
I know. I think the idea is that the fact AI and everything's getting that good, we're going to come to a point when that's how people are walking, and will we forget stuff, simple stuff, if we're not being told what to do.
But yeah, and then obviously Susan Twist shows up as her mom.
Yeah.
I'd rather be anyone else.
Yeah.
If I was Susan. Sutet really fucked her over by making her Lindy Pepper Beans.
To be honest, I think he fucked her over many times. But yeah, that's probably one of the worst times.
I think, for me, she is the most hated character in Doctor Who, in New Who, for me.
Oh, New Who, yes.
Like, I hate her more than I hate the Daleks.
Shooty's hoping he gets Daleks at some point.
I know. He was really frustrated that he didn't get to deal with them yet.
I get why. They are overused like the Master.
But they're iconic, so you can understand why every Doctor wants a Dalek story. So
I really hope Anita isn't just Missy.
I want it to be the Rani.
The Rani.
I think she's got to be at this point. Ain't she?
But what about the coat? The coat at the end was for somebody else.
What's her face? Ramona.
Yeah, that was the one.
Ramona, yeah.
And there's hints at...
But the umbrella was also Missy, so...
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I like the Master, and I get he's going to come back, or she's going to come back at some point. But I want somebody different.
When the Master comes back, I want the Master to come back, but I don't want it to be the Master we think. So I don't want it to be the version of the Master that follows on from Jodie's Master. I want that to have come before Missy. And I want the Master that comes back to have come after Missy. So she's friends with the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because Missy chose the Doctor, but the Doctor never knew. If he comes before Missy, that still works. Mm. And then Missy could go to the Doctor and be like, look, the version of me that did all that stuff and told you about the timeless child, that's my past. Yeah. Obviously it's your future, but it was my past. It was your future, but it was my past, sort of thing.
So Dot and Bubble.
Dot and Bubble, if I'm TARDISing it, like we've been doing. As an episode, I'm going to give it a 7.
6.
I'm giving it a 7 just because of that final performance from Shuey.
Same.
The episode itself is probably a 5 in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that final performance from Shuey gives it that extra.
It definitely felt like it was missing something.
I might actually give it a 6.5.
I like the underlying racism.
It was missing more Doctor.
Yeah, but I get why he wasn't in it.
Oh no, it makes sense with shooting schedules and everything.
It felt like, do you remember Blink, David Tennant?
Yeah.
That's the type of episode it felt to me.
Whereas
they were there, but not
73 Yards felt like that weird Absorb-a-Loft episode.
Yeah. But it's kind of obvious that the Doctor can't be there.
Yeah. We don't talk about that episode if you're new to Doctor Who. It literally ends with the main character of that dating a slab of pavement.
Yeah.
So weird.
Which is a shame because that guy in that episode is fucking fabulous actor.
Yeah.
I love him in Hustle.
Oh, it's a great actors in that little one-off, but at the same
That
time,
Peter Kay is the villain.
but at the same time, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so after Dot and Bubble, you've got, I want to say Rogue, but I feel like I'm missing one.
Right, so we've done
Space
Babies, Devil's Cord, Boom, 73 Yards, Dot and Bubble. No, you are right. It is Rogue.
Oh, Bridgerton ripoff.
Doctor Who goes Bridgerton.
Yeah, I like the episode.
I'm going to start off with the TARDISes this time. 9.
I'll go 8.
It's the best episode of this season, even counting the 2-part finale, in my opinion.
Bring back Groff.
He was amazing. And, oh my god.
And maybe we need to mention the little D&D reference.
Yeah, no, it was so cool.
Yeah.
With fucking Polaroid dice on the thing. And the doctor, the smug look on the doctor's face when he turns around to him and goes, "Did you get your name from D&D?"
Kylie Minogue.
So this has been the entire season, in my opinion. Russell and the BBC and Bad Wolf Studios music selection for this entire season has been
Campier than normal.
Campier, but fucking amazing. It
was a nice callback though, because Kylie has been in an episode.
She has, and a Russell episode at that.
Which, may I say, I enjoyed that episode.
I do. I think she's a better companion than some of the companions we got after.
Yeah.
But yeah, not Donna. I'm not dissing Donna.
Donna's fucking awesome.
I'm more dissing on Clara, but that's just my personal tastes.
Oswald. I love Oswald.
I don't like her, but that's my personal taste. I like her with Smith, not with Capaldi, but...
What you're not getting here is I'm staring at him slightly angrily.
So yeah, but that's nothing to do with Rogue, so... Back to Rogue.
Okay, we need more Groff.
He has so based his character on Jack. I do not think it is Jack, like everybody was saying.
Yeah, but he did have another friend who he lost. Never specified died.
Yeah.
Lost.
Their voices are very similar.
Maybe.
Jack Harkness was his partner.
Maybe Jack Harkness screwed him over.
Maybe Jack Harkness screwed him.
I won't put it past him.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, the Rogue is clearly exploring his options. It's clearly not.
I'm not gonna lie
though.
He did fall in love with Rogue far too quickly.
See, I don't think it's love. I think it's a crush. But I don't think the Doctor's used to. Like, I know he gets it from time to time, like with Rose, and River. All the Doctor's partners have the letter R as the name. Rose Tyler, River Song, Rogue. I just noticed that. But, so I know he gets it from time to time, but if you notice, every time he's awkward about it.
Yeah.
Like, Rose falls for the Doctor, and the Doctor ends up falling for Rose, but he's awkward about it. When he ends up with River, he's super awkward about it.
Yeah, but that's because Matt Smith played a very geeky character.
Especially when he finds out that Amy's River's mum, and he's like, "But you and I, we..." Yeah. She's like, "I know." And he's like, "But you're..." I know.
Yeah. May I say that is polar opposite to what he's playing now in House of the Dragon.
I know. We'll do a House of the Dragon episode in the future, but yeah.
So give me a minute. I'm still on Matt Smith in House of the Dragon. Okay.
Cold shower, Rob. Cold shower. Yeah, with Rogue. One, we got a Kylie Minogue reference, which means Kylie Minogue is canon in Doctor Who, and the Doctor must think she looks a hell of a lot like Astrid. D&D is now official in Doctor Who, and the Doctor clearly knows about it.
And did you catch the face of the doctors going around him?
Yes, I did. Yeah, Hugh Grant.
No, not Hugh Grant.
What's his name?
Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant, sorry.
Who is canon-ish now. For the 40th anniversary...
He played the Ninth Doctor. But he clearly isn't the Ninth Doctor. I think... Easy way to retcon this, guys. And I know a lot of people hate this little thing. He's the 9th incarnation of the Timeless Child.
Yes.
There you go. He's still a 9th Doctor. But... before, I don't know.
And apparently, for the looks of the videos, Richard did not know they were going to do that. Because he posted a thing going, oh my god, did I see that?
He's also the Great Intelligence, so that's ironic.
Yeah. But it was a nice little add-in.
Because people were saying, have they made the version of him being the 9th Doctor canon? Or is this a little callback to when the Great Intelligence jumped into his timeline?
No. No, if that's it, I'm going to be annoyed.
I think it's a Timeless Child callback. That's what I think.
I like the nod for him for the 40th anniversary.
So, we're getting close to the final 2 episodes, but before we do get there, the kiss.
I generally thought at one point, because I knew the next episode was called something Ruby Road.
Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Yeah. My brain went, that arsehole's going to press the button and we're going to spend the episode looking for her. But no, he kissed him, pushed him out the way. I was like, you jammy bastard. So, and he ends it with, find me. It's like, go off. Stop pulling at my heartstrings.
I'm sorry. Like you said, the Doctor did fall a little bit quick, but I think it is a crush, and I just think the Doctor isn't very good at handling crushes. But at the same time, Groff fell. Groff definitely fell. And, because, could you see the Doctor's face? Could you see his face?
Yeah.
When, literally when he got down on one knee and proposed. He was like... It felt to me... I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. Felt like he was considering it.
Yes, he definitely was considering it.
And then realised it was a ploy.
Yes.
And got upset.
Yes. But that's enough about that one. We've given it its TARDISes.
And obviously, we kind of went into it in last week's episode as well. So, part 1, The Legend.
So this is where we differ again. I enjoyed this episode.
I enjoyed this episode.
I cheered when all the evidence was there. I knew it was him.
The reason why Rob says we differ is I give this slightly less TARDISes than Rob does. Yes. Only because some of this was predictable.
Oh no, it was predictable. But a lot of Doctor Who is predictable to me.
I just... one, while I absolutely loved it, don't get me wrong, I loved the callback, I loved the connection, I loved everything like that. Why is Rose there? What does she bring?
Oh?
Donna's daughter. What does she bring to the table for the episode?
A potential of a spin-off. I'm sorry, I really want that spin-off to happen. I love the idea.
I love the idea. I'm just saying that, like...
Ruby Rose. Private Eyes.
Or Ruby Rose. Agents of Unit.
Yeah. Hunting down monsters you cannot see. Yeah, I'll admit, it was just a nice nod to...
It's like we said in earlier episodes when we've mentioned Doctor Who in other podcast episodes, where we said it'd be nice to see Tennant or some acknowledgement of Tennant. in the episode.
I think that's all it really was.
It was there for that, just so the Doctor could get out the TARDIS, and what an entrance that was, and go, how's your mum? How's your uncle?
Yeah.
Like,
it would have been nice.
Referring to the past version of yourself
as uncle.
As this person's uncle is hilarious to me. Because it's like, aren't you technically your uncle too?
The things I don't get is, we're supposed to believe that this Egyptian god has been sat around the TARDIS all this time.
When David Tennant blew up the TARDIS from Regeneration, Sutek was
Jack
there.
being on the side of it.
Jack being on the side of it didn't see the thing.
It falling from the sky and Jodie falling out of it.
The TARDIS disappearing.
3 of them in the 50th anniversary.
Yep. Well, technically it would have only been on... No, it would have been on all 3. It would have been on all 3. It sat through the fucking entire Time War.
Yep.
And what else? Oh yeah, my favourite one. It just spent 24 years with the Doctor, watching the Doctor make kissy faces at River Song.
Yes. I like the idea of it being on there for all this time. It also doesn't add up.
It doesn't make sense. It makes sense if it got on the... If Sutek returned onto the TARDIS in Wild Blue Yonder.
Yes.
Because that's when the TARDIS started making those groaning noises.
Mm.
Like something was on top of it. If 3 TARDISes are in the same place at the same time...
That means there's 3.
Does that mean there's 3 Suteks in the same place at the same time?
Yeah.
And that didn't implode the universe?
I know. Like I said, some of it doesn't add up. But the episode itself, I enjoyed. Yeah.
Oh, I've just realised something. Sorry.
What?
River was conceived in the TARDIS.
Yep.
Which means Sutek was on top of River's conception place.
Yep.
Ew.
Yep. I saw the army guy at the beginning dying.
It was too obvious.
Like we said, it was predictable episode.
He had way too much of a connection with Ruby. Like, calling him Cheetah Mill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the Doctor said, even Kate called him out. And she's like, you said don't move. And the Doctor's like, yeah, I know, it's fine. It's like, every time you go against what you say, Doctor, something bad happens. And then the TARDIS vanished. And the screen did not show us where the TARDIS was. And I was like, he's dead. He's not there. He's gone.
I enjoyed it. Well, I'd give it a good 6 out of.
See, I have to put it at, like, I would probably say 6. But I'm going to go 5.5. Yeah. Just because I think it was a little too predictable. I don't understand why Rose was in more of the episode. She could have been.
It was just basically a callback.
She could have just been there for the 5 minutes and then been. Kate could have been like, "This is classified. Please bugger off," because she was allowed in the room for classified stuff, which didn't make sense. I do like every science officer we've met in the current Disney era have had some form of disability.
Yeah.
So
I love that kid.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Trap percentage, 58%, 60%. And at the end of the episode, trap percentage, 100%, but it's here.
I like the Elon Musk reference.
Yeah, we'll get him.
We'll get him, don't we? Okay, so, last episode.
So, I personally went to watch this in the pictures. Rob would have been there, but he had his own things, going to watch Hamilton and going to Harry Potter World in London.
Yeah. Girlfriend enjoyed the Harry Potter World. And shockingly enjoyed Hamilton.
So, ironically, I was sat in a seat directly behind Rob's sister.
Yeah, that was a random coincidence.
But, here are the thoughts of a another Doctor Who fan who I mentioned earlier on this episode and this season as a whole. But just before we get into our final thoughts of this episode and then the season as a whole.
And we'll be right back.
Question was, as a young fan, like, what's your impressions then?
Oh, I love it. I've been a fan for like years. My Uncle Aidan actually is one of the ones that got me into it, and my dad and stuff.
Okay, so which Doctor's your first Doctor then?
David Tennant.
David Tennant,
Yeah.
brilliant,
Same.
classic, brilliant.
Same here.
And how do you think Shooty like compares?
Oh, he's getting up there with
getting
my
up there?
favourites, yeah.
Brilliant. And are you happy to have Russell T Davies back as the writer?
Yes, very.
What did you think of the finale itself? Like, because obviously this is the first season finale for this new version.
It's very unexpected. Like, I were questioning everything throughout the whole thing, and I was on the edge of my seat for everything. It was so good. I loved it.
And pun intended, the twist at the end.
Yeah. That was... I didn't even know. I kept questioning if she was someone else, if she were Rip Song's daughter or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I've gone everywhere to look, deep dive and stuff. And Ordinary, that's what got me. Like, her mum was Ordinary, and that was amazing.
It is a big twist. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. That was... Whoa.
Yeah.
Just a normal person.
So, thoughts on who Mrs. Flood might be?
Oh, I thought maybe Missy or Master or the Rani.
We were thinking the
Renegade.
Yeah, we
Time
were. We were just wondering whether the rights were there, but
Yeah.
because I know, like, early Who, the people that created them, they tend to hold the rights, so we were kind of hoping
Yeah.
the rights are there. But she knows more than she's letting on.
Yeah, very.
Definitely.
I
So-
want to know who the old lady is.
I can't get over it.
She wouldn't give her a cup of tea. That's mean.
Yeah, how bad was the question that everyone's asking? How bad was that cup of tea?
She must have done it like the Americans do and put it in microwaves.
Excuse me, we're going, I think.
All right. Mwah.
Well, thank you for your time.
I don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. It's obsessed.
Yeah, I'm going to the Doctor Who convention soon. That's why I got this for it. But
Oh, that's
We're
cool.
going to get you a t-shirt made, aren't we?
yeah, I'm gonna get a t-shirt made as well.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous.
So thank you.
Doctor Who fashion at its finest. There.
And thank you.
And thanks. And thank you again, Emily, for letting me do that. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yep. Well, I don't know, but apparently so.
She had a really cool Doctor Who skirt.
Okay, I'm kind of jealous.
I mean, I do feel bad that you weren't there at the screening. I met a guy that was doing a Doctor Who fan film. Ironically, my mum kept saying it was a podcast. I'm like, no, I'm the podcast. This is the fan film.
The Doctor Who short story I'm writing, I'd love to make as a fan film.
And there was a couple my mum and brother-in-law both thought were on a date. One was...
Please tell me it was Mother's Son.
I have no idea. It was two... I think it was two lads. One was Tennant, dressed up as Tennant, and the other was Smith. Down to the fact that they came in a fez.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It was awesome as well.
I know if I was the Doctor, my Doctor would definitely be dressed more steampunky.
I tried my best to go in a bit of a cosplay.
Yeah.
I had black trousers on, black shoes, a leather jacket, but I didn't have a maroon top.
Oh, you went as Eccleston.
Northern Doctor, and I'm from the north.
Yeah.
I even had my sonic screwdriver, which you've seen, in my pocket.
My favourite one I've got now. Capaldi's. The one that
Yeah.
looks like TARDIS.
Yeah, I know that's your favourite. So yeah,
So,
let's get into the last episode.
as an ending, it was poop.
It was rubbish as an ending. To be honest, when I was watching it, the only thing I can think of to say, and I'm laughing because, like, when I first watched it, I kind of enjoyed it. But now I have a time to digest the episode. You defeated a bad guy that the toy maker said he was scared of by leashing him.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. They could have done it better. Because she literally just dropped the TV and then had him. And then he blew a whistle. Which I like the idea of. I think they could have
they
done
should
it.
have brought back the clicking
That would be.
instead, because it was already established that the Doctor can snap his fingers and control the TARDIS. So I think if they'd have brought back the Doctor going, and then the TARDIS responded, I think that would have worked better than the whistle, because it's not been set up, so it just felt like a Deus Ex Machina.
I like the idea of her mum being that unimportant. That it made her important. The idea of it, I like, but it was crap. They needed to make her somebody good.
At the end of the day, there's a covenant between viewers and the TV station and the product that's being pumped out. And the covenant, in a lot of fans' opinion, and mine and Rob's, I believe, was violated by this release. But just because, literally, as a viewer, when you invest yourself in a mystery, like, who the fuck is Ruby Sunday?
And it annoys me because it doesn't explain, like, the snow.
It doesn't explain the snow. It definitely doesn't explain why Maestro was freaked out someone was there. And it definitely doesn't explain the hidden song.
I really hope with the whole dad thing, because we don't all we know is a name, which I find cool, because his surname is Garnet and my surname is Garnet. So I find that aspect cool, but he needs to make him something good.
Yeah.
And not just human.
I think there's a lot of stuff still up in the air. Who's Flood? She's clearly not anyone we thought she was. I thought maybe she was Susan, maybe she was...
I thought Susan, but she's been too mean to be Susan.
I'm sorry. Susan, or any daughter of River Song or Amy Pond, would not give Sherry a cup of tea. That's just mean.
I like the hints to bloody Clara Oswald in the jumper shirt combo, and at the end she says the words, "Oh, clever boy." When they come back alive, it's like, okay.
I don't think she's Clara, but
I don't. I like the nod.
There's definitely
I do like the fact once they leashed him and they're in the TARDIS, bringing everyone back, he says to Ruby, "Yes, I'm good, but now I have to be bad.
I have to be the monster."
Yeah.
It was good.
I love that line because being human, you know, at the end of the day, any normal human would have let the evil god live. But you can't.
No.
But I like the reference to he knew he had to be the bad guy in that situation.
I do like I think, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, there should have been an explanation as to why the Time Vortex was able to kill Sutek this time and not last time. What?
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did, but the implication is that it did. And if that's what Russell wants it to be, then I'm sorry, you need to explain why it worked this time and not last time. Because the TARDIS wasn't in the Time Vortex at the moment Sutek was pushed back into the Time Vortex. It joined back in after. So how was Sutek able to survive last time and long enough to get on the TARDIS, but not...
Yeah. But overall...
I think it was anticlimactic.
It was definitely a 4, maybe a 3 TARDISes.
As a season finale, I agree with you. As an episode on its own...
I'd jump up to 5.
I would jump up to 5. But because it's supposed to wrap up loose ends...
To me, that first bit, up until the point when he goes to the planet to get a spoon, and then the after the spoon is 2 different episodes.
It should have... I think I said this to you yesterday. I think it should have been a 3-parter, not a 2-parter. So we should have got 9 episodes, not 8. And we should have got... The first one is Sutek's reveal.
Yeah.
The second one is Sutek wins. The third one is the Doctor's victorious.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it was too fast. It went from, oh, big bad is Sutek, and all, like, Who fans from that have watched early Who came at the same time because they were like, woohoo!
But as a series overall,
Series overall, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 TARDISes.
I was going to be generous and say 7.
I
But-
think it's because, for me, and this is where, again, because we differ on stuff, I think there are more that I would give lower scores to than I have upper scores.
But me and you are like, I've avoided a lot of the reviews because they've just bombarded it, the series.
The only thing
There's
I
a guy
have
on
watched,
TikTok I like to watch called Tyler John.
Yeah.
Because he openly admitted after the final, was it the best series? No. But he's a fan and he will watch it and enjoy it for what it is.
It's like me personally, for example. I haven't really watched many reviews. The only one I have watched is Who Culture on YouTube. And the only one I've watched of their stuff is the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Just to get a reading of what the wide space of Doctor Who fans think of the episodes. And to be honest, most of they have more ups than downs.
I don't get why people are calling it woke.
Doctor Who's always woke.
Yeah, exactly. It's always been camp.
The-
The only difference is now is the guy playing the Doctor is quite obviously gay.
That's it. That's the problem. He's black and gay, and people don't like it. And you know what?
Fuck off.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
He's a great actor. I don't give a shit about his race or his sex. Well,
it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And Doctor Who has always been as woke as it is now.
it's always been camp as it is.
We watched Pyramids of Mars, which was the introduction of Sutek in the Fourth Doctor's era, right?
Yeah.
I watched the Tales of the TARDIS,
I
which
did.
nicely fits in
Yeah.
between the two parts of the last
Literally
episode.
perfectly did.
I watched that with my mum before I went to the cinema, and we were sat watching that episode and watching like Baker throw himself on the floor or people's death scenes and stuff like that. Going, people that think Doctor Who hasn't always been camp really need to watch this episode.
That's fucking David Tennant.
Captain Jack snugs anything with a pulse. Madame Vastra and her assistant are wives. For goodness
And I
sake.
think Tennant's probably just as camp as Shooty. The only difference is
He's a straight.
Tennant is straight.
Yeah. The Doctor literally sets Jack up with Alonzo. Which, I'm sorry, I love that scene where he's in the bar and he's about to regenerate and he just sends Jack a napkin that says his name's Alonzo.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's great.
I think it's time to wrap this up.
I think it is. So yeah, as we said, Rob would give the whole series 7 TARDISes out of 10. I would probably give it 6.
I'm looking forward to the Christmas episode.
I'm looking forward to the Christmas episode, and technically that is part of next season, not this season.
I really hope we see more of Ruby.
Ruby will probably come back, and I think Ruby's coming back will fit nicely with exploring who Mrs. Flood is.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to be how we get Ruby back in.
Yes. And hopefully we find out Daddy's actually an alien.
Or a god, or a Time
Something.
Lord. I think it'd be really cool if he was a 15-year-old boy, but the Master regenerated into a 15-year-old boy.
Anyway,
So,
thank you.
thank you very much.
Goodbye.
And tell us your thoughts on Doctor Who. And I know I've already said this like twice, but I just want to say it one last time. Thank you for letting me interview Emily.
And let's leave and regenerate.
Yep. I don't want to
Oh.
go.